Hey everybody, it's your girl Lily, back with another video. I'm finally making my updated video of my swearing and what job I picked for the United States Army. Um, and today is Saturday, August 12th, 2017. Although it is almost Sunday because it's 11:25 at night. I just want to apologize. I know I told you guys I would make a video on Friday. But I just been really busy with last minute shopping. My boys start school on Wednesday, and I start my semester on Monday. So I just been driving around buying uniforms for my boys and like clothes for me and other stuff that I wanted to take care of before school started because I'm gonna be swamped with classes and work. So that's that. But I'm here. Um, New people to my channel, if this is the first video you're coming across when you're on YouTube search looking at army material, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, like this video, um, check out some of my prior videos so that you can kind of catch up and get a glimpse of where I'm at in my army journey. But for everybody else, like I always say, let's jump back into it. So, as you guys know, I did it. This is the good picture. Hold on. Yes, I did that. I swore in on Thursday, August 10th. I am very excited. I'm very nervous at this point though, and I'm gonna go ahead and explain why. So, I just want to first start up by saying once again my MEPS experience was really good. Um, Again, like I told you guys, I watch a lot of videos where they say their stay at MEPS is extended and they're there all day, whether it's going through a full physical or ASVAB and physical and sworn that day, or just one of each. I We actually arrived there as usual around, I want to say, 6 o'clock, and in the morning, and I swore in at 10 a.m. So 4 hours later, and it only took 4 hours. There was more people than it was last time when I went to take my physical 2 weeks ago. And when we first came in, they had everybody sit in this one room where there's like a kind of a TV, and that's when they like do the small little presentation. But at the end of that, they ask, everyone who's doing a full physical, please stand up and walk out that way and give them directions. And after those people stood up, there was only 3 of us left who were just there to swear in. And basically, he had us wait until everybody was done checking in at the front desk, um, getting their name tag before we got to get up and do that. So that's the only reason why it took a little bit longer. But 10 a.m. was pretty early. My recruiter had told me a couple days before I went to MEPS that he thought I would be finished with everything around 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. So it's pretty early. The only thing that was bummish about swearing in so early is that I had told my brother, because my brother was going to be the one that was going to show up that day to watch me swear in, that I would be swearing in around 12, and so, I didn't have access to my phone, so it worked out okay. He didn't get to see me swear in, but I did get to drive home with him and, get to tell him about everything. So, basically, I went to the Leonte. I think I'm saying that wrong, but you guys know what I'm saying. The Army office, basically, to the HR people. I went in there and they just directed me. He asked me to go to a different room and say I'm doing phase 1, like fingerprints, and you basically go, you sit with this lady and or man, whoever, and they basically sit down and you're gonna hear like all day that day about things you can get in trouble for, and 3 things they kept emphasizing on: getting in trouble for deserting your job, just leaving, especially in time of a war, which I didn't know, but you can be penalized by death if you desert your unit in time of a war. Like, that's crazy. Just going AWOL basically, for not showing up to your duty station, or not telling your, you know, commander, whoever is above you, like where you're going or what you're doing, you can get in trouble for that. Um, they emphasize fraudulent enlistment a lot that day. You had to read a pamphlet, and then when you go to do your fingerprints, they ask you about that again. When you swear in, you'll also set up um, things for your family. So, for example, you'll get to pick and tell them the name of the person that's gonna identify your body in the unfortunate event that you are deceased. Um, you also set up um, who's going to. So, if you do pass away, I guess if there's money left over, you decide who will get the remainder of the money, and you'll also decide who gets your like the money for your funeral if you were to pass away. I think it's like 100% of it. So I did that, and they just ask you again, like, do you know what AWOL is? Do you know what desertion is? Do you know what fraudulent enlistment is? Do you know what? There's other stuff they had you, but they had you like she'd ask me like, okay, what was section this and this, and of course I actually read the pamphlet, so I was able to tell her. And you just do a bunch of more fingerprinting. It's like a bunch of fingerprinting, and then after that, you basically just wait in a room. I actually was the only one that swore in. I swore in by myself. So basically, you swear a swear in is every hour on the dot. So, um, I just happened to the other two. There's four of us, and I guess I don't know what the other three were doing. But originally, like I said, they were with me when we were asked like, "What are you guys here for?" And we said we're just listening today. I don't know what kind of happened to them, but I basically ended up swearing by myself, and I guess they got finished doing whatever they were doing later. So the gentleman walked me in the room, and he showed me how to stand at ease and at attention, which I thought was really cool. I felt really cool and official. And he had me raise my right arm and repeat after him and ask me questions, and I did all that, and I'm totally ahead of myself because I completely forgot that I had to swear in. I had to pick my job first, so that swearing was after I picked my job. So after the fingerprinting and the questioning about AWOLing and setting up your family, like who's gonna get your funeral costs and all that, then I went back to the army office, and that's when I picked my job. Now, going back to my other video, I originally told you guys like the first time that my line scores for my ASVAB results were really low, so the only job I qualified for was the 92 Sierra, which was the shower, laundry, and clothes repair specialist, something I said I absolutely did not want to do. I don't care how easy it was, and everyone kept telling me, especially a lot of the staff sergeants in the recruiting office when I had first found out about that, like a month or two ago when I first took my ASVAB, and they were like, oh, it's a really easy job, you don't really do anything, and I'm just like, I'm not going to move me and my children, across state and change my life to do something like that. Like, no offense to anyone else who does it. I mean, I'm no better because that's the only job I qualified for. If that was the only job that day, that was there, I would definitely have taken it. I wouldn't have said no. I'm not gonna take it until something better comes up. But since I had an option, yeah, that was the first choice. And then I don't know if you guys remember me telling you, my recruiter had said a couple days before I went to swear in that he reserved me a job, 88 Mike, which is it's motor transport operations. That's what 88 Mike stands for, motor transport operations, which is a fancy for saying basically you transport infantrymen, you transport trucks, you transport equipment to wherever they need to go. And I was okay with that. I would have wanted that over 92 Sierra. So when I went to pick my job, I was expecting that job to be on ready for me, and it wasn't. So I keep saying like army gentlemen and stuff because I just a lot's going on that day, so I'm not paying attention to the rank or anything. I didn't really look at like or ask like what rank they were. So when I say gentlemen, I'm talking about army people that are in uniform that works at MEPS that were helping me. But the army gentleman was on the phone with I think was the first sergeant, I believe, and he was kind of asking like, okay, what can she get with this score? And again, my score was low. So unfortunately, I had asked. I said my recruiter said that I was granted point exceptions and that 88 mics should be on reserve, and he said no, it's not open, or not that it's not open, but like no, that's the point is too far away, like too many points basically, and I was told that I was getting 5. So the only other job, you guys, this is where it gets interesting, was 11X, which is infantry recruit, or 92 Sierra. So it was between infantry and 92 Sierra. Now, I was like, OM flippin' G, like, are you serious? And he was on the phone with the guy, and he's talking to me like, okay, which one do you want? And I'm just like, do I have time to like think about it? He was like, nah, we're trying to get you a job. Playfully, I honestly was sitting there for like 10 or 15 minutes, like, please hold on, I'm sorry. But I ultimately picked 11X, you guys. I I signed my contract. My MOS is 11X. I am an infantry recruit as of Thursday, the 10th. So, yeah, that happened. Um, now, it's really funny because when I said, okay, I want 11X, the guy on the phone was like, ooh, okay, G.I. Jane. And then I'm not joking, there was at least 5 army men in that office, and as soon as I said I want infantry, they're like, ooh, it's like a timer went off. They all said at the same time, like, ooh, okay. And word went around really fast because when I left the office, that's when I went to do, um, I think when I went to, okay, I think I mixed up my orders, but basically I left, I went back to the front desk, and he was like, okay, I gave my stuff, and you know, did I go to the front desk? I'm thinking I'm doing something out of order, but basically a lot of the people were like, they knew that I picked infantry, so they were calling me, they stopped calling me by my last name. I'm not even making this up, and they were just calling me, Miss Combat. Hey, Miss Combat, over here, Miss Combat, and, um, yeah, so as I was sitting in the room, that's when I swore in after that, so as I was sitting in the room to swear in, one of the guys was like, who works there, some army dude was like, are you sure that's what you want? Like, he was saying what I already knew, like, they're not going to lower the PT standards for women in infantry. So if I'm not wrong, I may be off by like a number or two, but I will have to be able to do 55 push-ups like a man. I'll have to do 45 sit-ups like a man. I'll have to run 2 miles in 16 minutes or less like a man. I think 8 pull-ups. So sit-ups, yeah, 8 pull-ups, I believe. Just like a man. And I'm not gonna lie, that freaked me out. I mean, I don't expect to be, you know, it's fair, if I'm not really a big feminist. I'm a female, but I'm not like super like, oh my gosh, me, cry me, so me. No, I don't really care about that. So I'm happy I get to do infantry. I mean, I am nervous. I'm not gonna lie and say I'm not nervous. I'm very much nervous. I'm gonna work my ass off. Oh, and then I'm all over the place. So I wasn't told I couldn't disclose information. I will say that, like I told you guys, I had my leave date pushed back because I'm in school, and they had on file my enrollment verification form, so I'm able to finish my semester. My semester ends in December, and I leave sometime after that. I leave in January. And I'm not going to say the exact date, but I do leave in January, you guys, to basic training. I'm not going to say where I'm going. I'm sure you guys can figure that out on your own if you really wanted to know. It's not hard. It's just personally, I don't want to say it because I don't know. I'm just one of those paranoid people that like don't know if I was supposed to say all that, so I don't need like anyone like stalking my channel and being a hater. Like, I don't know. So I leave in January. I'm not saying where I'm going. I'm sure you guys can figure that out based on what MOS I have. Um, but what I will do is after I get out of basic training and I'm an AIT, I will. No, when I'm at an AIT, I will tell you guys where I was stationed at, for both. Um, I am gonna make videos in AIT for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. But yeah, so I leave in January, and yeah. Um, my video is 14 minutes, and I'm actually scared shitless because I lost track of time, and usually it doesn't let me upload anything longer than like 10 or 12 minutes. So I'm gonna stop the video here, and I'm gonna pick up about my infantry, what I was told about infantry, And I had a first sergeant call me. One of the commanders call me to tell me something that I need to tell you guys, and then I'm going to show you what's in my lovely little backpack. So this is like a click away. I'm just going to make another video. I love you guys.